Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, has come under intense criticism over remarks many deemed threatening to the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi. The controversy began when Senator Okpebholo last Friday, in his address at a rally, warned that Obi must never come to Edo without obtaining security clearance from him because the presidential hopeful's last visit coincided with a resurgence of violence in the state.
The governor spoke while receiving the last opposition federal lawmaker in the state, Marcus Onobun, into the All Progressive Congress, APC. The state member, the governor, received lots of backlash from various groups who described the governor's statement as unconstitutional and dangerous for a governor to attempt to restrict the fundamental rights or issue threats to a former governor and presidential candidate.
Well, that's not all. Don't forget, too, that the APC chairman in Edo State, Jared Tinebe, also in a press conference did mention that he does not in any way support the fact that the former Anambra State governor should come to the state, using the word which many have found to be very critical as hate. But let's not spend so much time. Let's quickly bring in someone to discuss this with us, a member of the All Progressives Congress APC and one who was fully involved during the entire stretch of the political campaign, not forgetting to the elections, and one who has continued to celebrate the victory of the APC in Edo State. We do have Mr. Andrew Emwata, who is also a lawyer and one who definitely we can count on to break down what really took place in Edo State. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Anson. And Olif, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. And good morning to our viewers at home.
Great, great. I'm sure you saw the video, and I'm sure you are aware what we're discussing, especially looking at what took place just a few days ago. Can you shed more light on what we are hearing currently? We do also hear that the governor said he did not mean it that way when he said that Mr. Peter Obi should not come into the state without an express approval from him. And we've also seen the APC chairman there, Mr. Jared Tinebe, speaking very, very strongly about hate. How do we juxtapose these two?
Can you kindly unmute your device, sir? We can't hear you.
Mr. Emwata, I think you might have to unmute your device and go over your answer again, please. We need you to unmute so we can get to hear you clearly.
Yeah, please, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay, what I said is that I'm the special advisor to the Edo State Governor on legal matters. And I want to limit my intervention to what the governor of Edo State said at a rally to receive the only member PDP had in the National Assembly, Honorable Marcus Onobun, and other members of the PDP into our great party, the APC. And that rally took place in Urumi in Edo Central. The governor, of course, made reference to the fact that, Obi recently visited Edo State and Benin City precisely. Of course, he went there for, an event in the nursing school. He also had a couple of political activities. I can speak from my own personal experience. We were at the airport to see off some of our party people, governors from the South on that particular Sunday at the airport. And at some point, we now noticed that Mr. Obi came in, and I was with some former National Assembly members who were formerly members of his political party, and I think one or two of them told me he was trying to woo them at the airport. So the impression I got at that time was that he was here for a political meeting. It was later we heard he went to a nursing school where he made some donations. And what the governor simply said at that rally is that for you to come into my state as a governor, you are a politically exposed person, you are a high-profile politician. Courtesy demands that you inform me that you are coming into the city because of your security and safety. The governor is the chief security officer of the state. And even when you look at the law is very clear. Section 1 of the Public Order Act gives the governor such powers that if you are coming to hold certain processions or meetings in the state, you must first of all get a permit. The law specifically says something like a license. You make a request, and of course that request will be approved. Then you can now go ahead to have your meeting or whatever it is that you want to do in the particular state. It is not the Edo State House of Assembly that made that law, but the National Assembly far back in 1979. And coming back to the issue, I don't think people should take this thing out of context. There's nothing wrong. Even those two instances where it would be like, there was one in Plateau. He sought the permission, or he wrote to the governor of Plateau State, and he was allowed to visit an ID camp. In the case of Benue, he said he reached out to the governor through his ADC, but I think within that 3-day span, there was a communication break. So eventually, when he was on his way, they now told him, you don't have to come because of the security tension in the state. So on those two occasions, he did not communicate with the governors of those two states. He didn't even find the courtesy to inform the Edo State government that he was coming into Benin. And when he comes around like that, he comes with crowds. So for us, it was just a simple security advisory, and I think nothing more than that.
Okay, if I might please ask our production team to play the video. We want to take a look at the video again, and also for our viewers to have a look at the video, and then we'll come back to the conversation.
I am sending a direct message to him. There is a new sheriff in town. He cannot come to Edo without telling me, because his security will never be guaranteed. Whatever happens to him when he's in Edo State, he will take it. I am serious about it. He came the other day and donated 15 million. Somebody will say, no, guys, she will get 15 million to donate to people. By the time he left, there was crisis. 3 people died in Benin. So for that reason, tell Obi he should not come to Edo without telling me.
So, I mean, you've seen the video. Nigerians have seen this video. It sounds more, I mean, many will argue from the reactions we've seen on social media that it sounded more like a threat than making reference to what you've said about there being a law that, mandates that they inform, if they're coming for political reasons, that they inform the governor of the state. That video, many would argue, sounds more like a threat, because it's saying, I can never guarantee your safety, or we can never guarantee your security if you come to Edo State. How do you explain that?
Thank you. It's standard practice and part of official protocol. If you being the 2023 presidential candidate of a party, and of course your party lost, and you are one of the opposition leaders that is found of always attacking governments. Remember when we had our Edo elections, even after the Court of Appeal gave his decision, Mr. Obi has expressed very strong reservations about the victory of our governor. And he's an opposition figure. His party, much as his party did not win a single ward out of the 192 wards in the last governorship election in Edo State, he's still an opposition figure. His party is in deep crisis. Remember, even the national chairman of his party was molested physically in Benin. And it was his own faction that was responsible for that. So the political crisis within his party can result in anything. Just as the governor noted, the day he visited, we had about 3 court killings. So if you had informed the governor, we knew the exact place you were, then that way we can know that, yes, it was not in this part, because it's a matter of courtesy. When he went to Benue, he requested, and even much as the governor did not grant that request, but in the case of Edo, he didn't even inform anybody. Imagine him coming into a place where you have all APC supporters, with his supporters there. That is what the governor was trying to avoid. And the governor simply says, when you are coming into our town or our state, inform us. Is that too hard to ask? Because yes, can the governor guarantee security or safety when he has not informed me formally that he's coming to Benin City? Remember just recently, a candidate of the PDP in the Anambra governorship election was shot. I mean, that is a clear case of informing the security operatives in that place, or informing the governor as the chief security officer, so that your security can be guaranteed. All
right, if I may interrupt, because I know you quoted a law earlier that was passed by the National Assembly, you said. I'm not sure which law it is. I can't seem to...
Public Order Act.
Okay, I believe
1979.
I believe that the Public Order Act 1979 is subject to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which provides that in Section 41, any citizen of Nigeria is guaranteed the right to move freely within any place in Nigeria. Would you say it supersedes the Constitution Mr. Peter Obi is a Nigerian citizen, and he has the right to go to any state. What is order of practice? If you may please allow me land, I'll appreciate if you may please allow me land. Mr. Peter Obi is a citizen of Nigeria, and are you saying that he does not have the right to move around freely and go to any state that he wants to go to, in the country? Is that what we're saying?
No, I think only that's where you get it wrong. Our fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Constitution, but that does not mean because you have the right to freedom of movement, you just walk into the presidential villa or that zone that is restricted.
No, he did not go. He did not go to a restricted zone. We're talking of visiting a state. Okay, please go ahead.
No, if you allow me to land,
please go
because
ahead.
Every state in Nigeria has a chief security officer, and that is why the Public Order Act allows for certain things that should be done. Just as I was about to say before you interrupted me, the Public Order Act has been subjected to judicial interpretation. In the case of Inspector General of Police and AMPP, what the court said, the Court of Appeal said in that particular case, is to the effect that it is police permits by the police that is restricted, that you cannot now make the police, as it were, so powerful that without their permit, certain things cannot be done. But it has nothing to do with the governor of a state, as the Court of Appeal said there. Section 1 provides clearly the role of a governor as a chief security officer to grant permits to certain activities, particularly when there are meetings in public places. What Obi came for was a meeting in a public place, and he interacted with politicians. I told you the experience we had at the airport. So the governor is simply saying, when you are coming to Benin City, just as you did with Plateau and in Benue, inform me that you are coming, so that your own security will be guaranteed. It's simple.
Thank you, Honorable Emwata. I would like us to...
Is Obi entitled to the full security of maybe a governor? He does not have those kind of security privileges. When he came that day, I can tell you for free, I didn't see him with any single police.
Okay, thank you, Honorable.
If there, he should deny it. He should also deny if he refused to inform the Edo State Governor that he was coming. Did he inform us? When he was going to Plateau, he informed them. When he was going to Benue, he informed them. So why is Benin City an exception?
Okay, moving away from the comments of the governor, let's talk about the APC chairman in Edo State. He did make what people have termed very inciting and dangerous comments on the person of Mr. Peter Obi. Let's take a listen, and then I'll come back to you.
All over the press about the statement that Governor made yesterday when he was receiving one of the remaining of PDP in Edo Central, where he said that Peter Obi has to take permission before he lands. And I think the governor was right in saying that, because we are also saying that the governor can say that because of the kind of hatred that people have for Peter Obi in the state, including me. And when you have people, so many of us that have such hatred for people like that, especially when they came to Edo State and people died, it is proper for him to tell the governor before he will come, so that people like us will be sent on errand out of Edo before he can come and possibly go. I'm sure that's the reason why the governor made that statement. Is that why I think the governor made that statement, and it's correct, and we support him in whatever he's saying. So whatever anybody is saying, they're just saying rubbish. And I also want to send a message to people who call themselves ADC in this state, that they should be very careful, because we only have PDP remaining, not ADC. So if you want to identify with ADC, you have to leave Edo for us. That is my message to all of them.
Honorable Emwata, that's the Edo State APC chairman, Jared Tenebe. He did make a couple of comments there, but I want to ask you directly, do the people of Edo State hate Mr. Peter Obi?
I think the APC chairman expressed a personal opinion. He spoke about himself that he doesn't. Of course, I cannot speak for him. I started by saying that I'm the special advisor to the governor on legal matters, and I can only comment on what the governor said, because that's what I have full information of, and that's what I think I was more or less, invited to speak on. It's very clear that it was what the governor said I'm reacting to. So what the APC chairman said is his personal opinion.
But what do you make of such a rhetoric, looking at our political climate in Nigeria? Do you endorse that sort of language?
I said it's his personal opinion.
We agree that it's his personal opinion, but do you agree that it's an insightful opinion?
He said it, and again, it's a political statement. He said he does not like his person, and that, you know, for him to come into the state, I think the part where he said for him to come into the state, he should inform the governor. I think I agree with that.
Mr. Nwata, I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree, Mr. Nwata. I beg to disagree because the truth is, if the roles were reversed, and it was maybe the Labour Party or the People's Democratic Party that had used strong words and talked about your governor, Governor Okpebholo, being hated by the people of Edo State. Hate is such a strong word and such a strong language. He says that it is that those statements were made because of the hatred the people of Edo State have for Peter Obi, including him. Those words are clearly insightful. You can agree that they are insightful. It's okay for you to be a member of the APC and see that the APC has done something wrong and call it for what it is. Or the person in the APC.
Just as I said, it's his personal opinion, and I think you have described it as such, and I insist that it's his personal opinion. Because I think what we are looking at clearly is what the governor said, and that was what he was reacting to.
All right.
Just when I'm expressing the opinions I've expressed, I don't have any problem with Peter Obi. He was the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023. I mean, he came all out campaigning, and I don't have anything to say apart from saying if he's coming to Edo State as the governor has advised, he should inform the governor of the state.
All right, so let's move on from that and now look at the future. So if Peter Obi is coming to Edo State and he doesn't inform the governor, or even if he informs the governor, you know, what are the next steps? Is Peter Obi banned from coming to Edo State? And if he doesn't inform the governor?
There's nothing like ban.
Okay.
Nobody has banned him. Just, you know, if there was a ban, I think he did something similar to El-Rufai. I think it was in 2013, yes, when El-Rufai, you know, was to come for a particular activity in Anambra State when Peter Obi was governor. El-Rufai complained that for 48 hours he was detained on the instructions of the governor, and Peter Obi at that time was the governor. The governor of Edo State does not intend to do that, but what he's simply saying, for you to come to Benin City or anywhere in Edo State, please, we know you are coming at times for humanitarian activities, which has political undertone. Like, you know, when I noticed that, you know, he was canvassing for support, you know, of people who left his party. And of course, when he was in Benin, he did series of meetings, political meetings. And we don't want a situation where there's tension in our state. So just inform us, we will ensure that there's security. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
Okay, just to mention, I mean, that's 2013 reference you've made. Peter Obi had clarified that. I know there's an article, even on the Daily Trust, where he clearly said, it was sometime in October, he did clarify that he never did detain him and that there was a mix-up somewhere. Just to mention that he clearly stated that he didn't detain him. And now,
his words against El-Rufai's own, is his words against El-Rufai's own, and it is what we have in the public domain I've just spoken to, because he always puts up a defense, you know.
Okay.
Again, what about Plateau and Benue, right? He wrote to the various governors of those states, informed them. In the case of Plateau, you heard Benue, when he raised that alarm that he has been trying to reach the governor, but through the agency, he reached him and he didn't get any feedback. But did he make any attempts to reach the governor of those states?
Okay,
so what the governor is simply saying, please inform me next time when you're coming to Benin City.
Okay, Mr. Emwata, although the reviews we've gotten is that we like the way you put it when you said, please inform me next time. And many have thought, even communications expert, of which you are a communications, you were a communications person at some point in your portfolio. You do understand the use of words and how weighty they can be. Hence why we've also referred to the last video you saw where a member of your party, as a matter of fact, one who actually holds a very important position, has said that the people hate, and including himself. We think that word in context, hate, is a very strong word. And that's why we've also referred to the Rwandan war, if you remember, the genocide, where hate was therefore a word that led to so many things which we think as politicians. And as one who actually works closely with the politicians, and maybe using the law, these ones should actually be called and possibly thought on how communication is very key to the peace and the livelihood of the people of Edo State and also Nigerians at large. But let's move away from that. Let's focus on the calls from the people of Edo State. We've seen the governor pulling some strides, trying to ensure that the people get the dividends of democracy. But there is also a big worry. There's this canvassing for 2027 already going on. And I'm sure you also know what the law says concerning elections. Is this not breaking the law by starting to campaign right before the campaign window is opened?
2 years before.
Yeah.
Governor is doing what the law does not permit him to do, because the APC stakeholders in the South came around our city, Benin City, for a political meeting. And I don't think it's different from what the people in the ADC have been doing. They've been having political activities. So if people in a particular party express positive support for the leader of the party, which in this case is the president, and saying that they think he should be allowed to get the ticket of the party, there's nothing wrong with that. Even in the US, you have endorsements, even the year before the elections, you have endorsements, and even there's a conversation in the US whether there's, if there's going to be a possible amendment of the Constitution to allow Trump to have an extra term. But will you call that political campaigns? It cannot be, campaigns when it is just people expressing what they feel or think about the president, the person of the president. And I think our governor is very clear. He's saying 2027 is possible for Asiwaju, and there's nothing wrong. The law does not prohibit you from doing that.
Okay, as we wrap up, final question would be your reactions to Peter will be giving 15 million to Philomena Nursing School. Does the state appreciate it?
When he said during the campaigns we don't give shishi, I mean that's an antithesis. For you to say you don't give shishi, then you publicly donate. The idea is not the fact that you give, but you are trying to get attention. You are trying to be seen. Like I saw him in one video where he was selling foods, and it's just an attention seeker. That's what I'll say.
Mr. Emwata, don't you think the give shishi in Mr. Peter Obi's context meant vote buying? It doesn't mean he wouldn't engage in philanthropic acts.
The rest assured that those nursing students he has been reaching out to in Benue Plateau, he will still go back there for votes. So if that's vote buying, it is for Nigerians to decide when that time comes.
Thank you so much.
To ask them to vote for him.
What would be a great thing would be that maybe we see you and Governor Monday Okpebholo maybe go to Anambra State and give some nursing students there. So it's aura for aura. We're seeing at the end of the day, the Nigerian students will be the one that will be better for it. Honorable Emwata, thank you for joining.
There are nursing students in Edo State that need that money, and I think the governor will prefer to use that to fix our nursing schools as he's doing. There are many nursing schools that are under constructions in Edo State. I think that's the best way. Not in just doling out cash, but in ensuring that they have good infrastructure and their lecturers are well paid, as the governor is currently doing in Edo State. All
right. Thank you very much for joining us. And just to clarify, Peter, we had also clarified the video about sharing food and said that it was an event that was put together by Reverend Father, where people at the higher end of society were often made to serve, just demonstrating what Jesus would have done in the Bible, serving the people who he is supposedly higher than. If that makes sense, and put some rest to that theory. But thank you, Honorable Emwata, for joining us this morning. It's always a delight to have you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.